His eyes were bloodshot, shining with unshed tears. There was a sad, lost look about him that crumpled my heart. I finished the last of my coffee and made my way to the counter. There were some wrapped cookies and brownies on display. I grabbed a cookie, paid for it, and asked for a pen. I flattened the cookie's receipt on the countertop and scribbled, "Hope this cheers you up." In low tones, I asked a favor of the cashier to send the cookie and note over to the man after I had left. The heartbroken one in the corner, he was easy to spot. I left and thought nothing more of it. Dwelling on it would give me anxiety. Like, what if he was crying from a breakup, and that cookie resembled what his ex used to make for him and made him sadder? Or if his mom just passed, and that was his mom's favorite cookie? Best not to imagine the consequences. Just hope for the best and move on. The next time I was at the cafe, it was the same cashier. She took my order, then hesitated. She seemed to want to say something to me, but she didn't, and turned away after a moment. I went home after getting my triple shot coffee. Lots of work to do, and I hadn't had enough sleep. The triple shot worked magic. I finished the entire day's work by 3 p.m. and had time to tend to my plants. I repotted the 2 new babies my aloe vera plant had birthed. They were the 26th and 27th aloe vera babies. The mother plant was beyond fertile. Had to find a way to rehome them. My house was turning into a jungle of aloes. I was placing some of the pots outside my corner apartment when I shuddered for no good reason. I turned around, looked down the corridor. No one was there, but the feeling of being watched continued. I quickly put up the handwritten sign, "Free aloe vera plants. Help yourself." By the pots of aloe veras. Then I restocked the canned drinks I kept outside, next to a sign that said, "Thanks for the delivery. Please help yourself to a drink," and went back in. I didn't leave my home until dinner time. I had a quick dinner out, got back, and noticed a little scratch on my door, around where the latch was. I must have scratched it with my keys at some point. I headed in, showered, and went to watch a movie in bed. It wasn't a horror movie, but something felt off. The energy of my house felt off. There was a weird, almost viscous tension in the air. And again, I had been pretty stressed in the past week. That was probably it. I watched a rom-com, then 2, then 3, until I fell asleep. I woke up to my alarm the next day. I reached out from under my covers to switch it off. For once, I hadn't kicked the blanket off in the middle of the night. I usually woke up slightly freezing because of that. I skipped going to the cafe for my morning coffee. I was running up my bills. Instant coffee was going to be the norm for a while. A text popped up on my phone screen from an unidentified number. "Good morning. Hope you enjoy the breakfast at your door." I raised an eyebrow and headed to my door. Sure enough, there was a takeaway meal at my door. I smiled. It was probably my bestie. She did random surprises like this once in a while. "Thanks, Julie," I replied. She had probably texted from the new work phone she had just got. I was taking a bite of the pancake I found in the box when my phone vibrated again. "Who the fuck is Julie?" Read the text. I opened my mouth and let the bite of pancake fall out. Julie wasn't one to swear. Not in the years that I've known her. "Who are you?" I replied. No reply. I texted Julie on her personal phone. It took her only a few minutes to respond. It wasn't her. The breakfast wasn't from her. I threw it out, heart thumping. "Did you not like it?" Came the text. I shrieked a little. I had thrown it into the bin at home. "Who are you? How are you doing this?" I texted. I hesitated for a moment. Then I locked myself in my bedroom and called the police. To the police's credit, they reacted fast. I told them that I believed someone might be in my home, and they were here in minutes. They found no one. I told them what had happened, and they began a search for electronic devices. They found 2. A camera plopped into one of my plants, one which showed the view of my living room and part of my kitchen. Another camera was in my bedroom, a tiny thing half hidden behind the knickknacks on my bedside table. They were battery-powered cameras with their own Wi-Fi. The battery could last for weeks, apparently. I didn't even know they made cameras like those. I felt sick, like a cold creature had crawled inside my skin and settled itself among my innards. I told the police about the scratch on my door. They concluded that someone had picked my lock. The police asked lots of questions about exes, people I could have offended, any creepy colleague or person in my life. I couldn't think of anyone. There just wasn't much drama in my life up to that point. I couldn't imagine anyone I knew going to such lengths to spy on me. The police left after dusting around for fingerprints. I didn't know they still did that. They said they would investigate, compare the prints to mine, to check for any strangers' prints. They didn't have the manpower to leave a protective detail or to provide any form of protection. I've just got to be careful and change my lock. Get a better one. They would investigate the number from the text and the recording devices too. I got the lock changed in a day. I got the most heavyweight lock there was, one the seller claimed could not be picked. I installed surveillance cameras outside my apartment too, for good measure. I didn't install any in my home. I was paranoid about people hacking the feed to spy on me. My phone vibrated again. I told you I loved you. Why did you call him? I left the house, headed straight to the police station. I was about to head in when another text popped up. Don't you dare go in there. That will make me really mad. I went in anyway, met with the officers in charge. They sent me home accompanied by an officer and told me to stay home as much as possible and try to be accompanied by friends or family when out. I was just about feeling a little safer and somewhat back to normal when I received another text from another unknown number. I'm not trying to hurt you. Please don't be scared of me. I love you. I called the investigator in charge of my case, told him about the text. They told me to screenshot it, send it over. I did that once I hung up. Another text. How could you do that to me? I froze. How did he know? Were there more cameras? Then they left, after a sweep around my floor to make sure no one was around. Suddenly self-conscious, I smoothed my hair back as well as I could and spoke as calmly as I could manage. You, the last time I saw you, you looked like you wanted to tell me something. She stared at me for a while, confusion apparent on her face. She didn't remember me. I tried to remember our past interactions, anything that would stand out. I got that cookie for that guy, I said, the memory popping up. Her eyes widened further, and her lips parted. I was on edge the next few days, sleepless. No amount of checking the door lock made me feel better. I ordered delivery for all my meals, didn't step one foot out the door. I made the delivery guys leave the food at the door and opened it only when I was sure they had gone. It was when my coffee from my favorite cafe arrived that I remembered the cashier, that strange look she had on her face. It was right before all the crap started. I took a taxi straight to the cafe. I wasn't going to risk being out longer than I had to be. I got lucky. The same cashier was working at the counter. I approached her, and her eyes widened. I looked down and realized what a mess I looked. I hadn't showered in days. I was wearing food-stained home clothes. My hair was straggly and messy. I remembered the last time I looked in the mirror. Black circles around my eyes. Face pale. Oh, you. She looked me up and down, a crease forming between her brows. I wanted to tell you that, well, tell me. The guy you got a cookie for, he kept asking about you. He wanted to know who bought him the cookie, wanted footage from our surveillance cameras. We denied him that, of course. But then he guessed it was you. He had noticed you, in your red sweater. Then he just kind of camped out here every day. Until that day, when you came in. Wanted to tell you that. Well, I thought maybe it was nothing. I didn't want to make a fuss over nothing. And, well, then you left, and he followed you out. I told my manager. He told me to stay out of it, and I did. Of course, the man with the cookie. Goddamn it. How had I not put it together until that moment? How did I not suspect him? I thought of the cashier, but not the dude I bought a cookie for. I called the police again. The cashier panicked, said she didn't want to be involved. But I looked her dead in the eye and told her I was in danger, that I needed her help. She relented. We headed to the police station together. She gave her statement. We both gave descriptions of the man. By the time I headed home, I had a new message from yet another unknown number. You've done it now. You need to be punished.